If you want to increase your income without getting another job or starting a business or even growing the current business that you have, I want to share with you 7 things that I stopped buying that immediately increased my income and made me more money. Now, before I get to those 7 things, the one thing that I want to tell you is you really want to stick around to the end, because number 7 is going to be something that maybe you've never heard of before, but if you implement it, it's going to skyrocket your income. And I'm not saying the others are not important, but 7 is really critical, so you want to make sure you stick around for that. Now, the first thing that I stopped buying is brand new cars. I remember hearing a story years and years ago about Warren Buffett. Now, if you don't know who Warren Buffett is one of the richest men currently to date in the world, and he's said to be one of the greatest investors of all time. But Warren Buffett talked about how he would never buy a new car. And the reason why he said that is because he gave the scenario about if he spent $50,000 on a car, within 3 years, that same $50,000 car will cost him about $6 million based on his knowledge and his level of expertise with investing. And he also talked about like why he didn't even really need a new car anyway, but it really gave me a different perspective. And then I started doing some research, and I heard someone talked about how when you buy a new car, within 4 years, that same brand new car lost 75% of its value. That caused me to start doing a little bit of research. And I remember I came to look at a Porsche. Now, I wasn't gonna buy the Porsche for me, but I was just looking for research, and it was a Porsche, brand new. That same car cost $180,000. When I looked at a car online, that car, 11 years from the date that I looked at it, that same $180,000 car was $13,000. So think about that. $160,000 plus car, 11 years later is only $13,000. So that dropped in value like a rock. And so when I think about cars, I think about like one of the best things you could do is to buy a car that's a couple years older and not brand new, because even if you buy a car brand new, as soon as you drive it off the lot, if you want to take it back, that car is not even worth the same price you just paid for, because as soon as you drive it off the lot, it immediately loses value. So buying a brand new car is something that I stopped buying that immediately increased my income. Now, the second thing that I stopped buying is the updated version of whatever the new technology is. One of the newest technologies that comes out, it seems like every 2 weeks, is the new Apple iPhone, or the new Apple Watch, but some kind of new version that is updated. And so for me, it's like I stopped getting certain updates because I started to realize that if I get an update every single time that a new one comes out, I am starting this $600 or $700 phone payment all over again every time something new comes out. And if you think about it, that's the same way it is with cars. It's like when people buy a car, it's like instead of just paying it off and keeping it, you get a new one, and sometimes the new one is not as even good as the old one, but you're now paying a brand new fresh car note all over again. And it's the same way when it comes to the updated version of something else. And so it's like when you really think about a lot of the iPhones or Androids or whatever else that comes out, it's like, is the new version really worth $600 or $700 or even $500 more than the older version? And if you're somebody who you have to have the newest version, I would say instead of getting the new version, get the new version every other time that it comes out, because that'll also save you money. So it's like instead of you getting, a new iPhone every 6 months, get a new iPhone once a year. Now, that's not something I would recommend, but it's at least a way for you to save money and not get caught up into that trap. But for me, it's like I stopped doing the updates altogether, because what I want to accomplish, I can accomplish it with that. And sometimes I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves is, whatever we want to accomplish, can we still accomplish it with the current version that we have? Because sometimes we just get into the habit of upgrading even though we don't need it. But we don't really ask ourselves, can we do what we want to accomplish with the current version that we have? And I think if we just ask ourselves that question, that alone will cause us to resist the temptation to buy into the next upgraded version to whatever it is, and it'll save us a lot of money. Now, the third thing that I stopped buying is brand name clothes. So I've been an entrepreneur most of my whole life, and my father owned a clothing store years and years ago. So I've had the privilege to understand the importance of branding. And I remember about 5 years ago, I started thinking about, why would I wear a brand of somebody else's to promote them, and they charge me to do it and I'm not getting any financial compensation whatsoever? And so from that, I started wearing my own clothes. So when you see me do a video or you see me out or something like that doing a training workshop or speaking, typically you're going to see me wear my own brand. I'm not going to wear brands of other people's. Now, I have a suit or something like that on, or just a regular shirt, but typically you're never going to see me wearing somebody else's brand because they're not paying me for it. And a lot of times we wear these different brand names and we're not even in alignment with the creator that actually made it. So we're promoting something that we really don't believe in. Like, it might look nice, or it might be popular, or people might respect us to a certain extent because we have these things on. But in all actuality, it's like, do we really want to promote something that we're not in alignment with? And do we really want to promote something that we have to buy and we're not being compensated for? You think about, like, there are so many different like cars that have wraps and they have these different advertisements on it, or you see people on these street corners and they're flipping like billboards. They're getting paid to brand somebody else. But so often people buy brand name clothes and they're paying to promote this other person and they're not getting compensated whatsoever. So for me, that was one thing that I stopped buying that immediately caused my income to go up, and it caused me to brand myself and actually promote my own business. Now, the fourth thing that I stopped buying is things because they're on sale. I started to think about, there's so many sales that takes place and so many people buy things just because it's on sale, and then they end up selling it down the line for less than what they paid for it because they don't really have a use for it. So it's like, if something costs $100, and just because you can get it for $65 doesn't mean you should buy it, because the same thing that you buy for $65 that's a discount, you might end up selling it for $30 just to get rid of it and clear space out in your home. Instead of buying things just because they're on sale, buy things because you want it. And if you want it and it's on sale, that's a bonus. But for me, it's like I stopped buying things just because they were on sale, because at one point it's like, in my mind, I'm like, man, that's on sale and this price is so much lower than it normally is. Man, how can I justify leaving it there? And then it came to a point where I started selling these things that I bought years and years before for lower than what I paid for it, even though it was a great deal at the time when I bought it. And so it just caused me to think, like, you know what? The best thing that I could do is just bypass this altogether and stop buying things just because it's on sale. And once I did that, that actually caused my income to increase, and it caused me to really have like a clear mind, if you will, because we don't realize that sometimes all of the stuff that we have in our homes, in our rooms, it's a reflection of the clutter that we have in our mind. Because like, our mind is cluttered because our environment is cluttered. And it's like, when we just buy more things just because they're on sale, that's more potential clutter that we're bringing into our life and our homes, and eventually into our mind, that's going to cost us. So when you can have like a clear mind, a clear space, and you're not spending money on things that you really don't plan to use, it just cause you to overall be better financially. Now, the fifth thing that I stopped putting money into is things that I did not understand. So there was a time where just because something looked like a great investment, or it looked like a great potential to make money with, I would spend money on it. But certain things I just did not understand. It's like the promise was very attractive, but I did not understand how it actually worked. And so I started spending money a lot of times on things that could be great, but they were not great for me because I did not understand it. And so it's like, when I stopped spending money on things that I did not understand, I started to have, number one, more of a peace of mind with my money, because it's like, now I started to put my money in places where things that I have a full understanding of, and I'm comfortable and I'm confident how that works, versus things where I'm just kind of at the mercy of somebody else's knowledge and how they do things because they understand it and I don't, even though they have my money now. If you are somebody where maybe you're an opportunity seeker, I would encourage you to only seek opportunities in things that you understand, or things that you're willing to study first before you make the investment, because we don't know everything. But if there is something that you do have an interest in, before you make the investment in it, make sure you educate yourself on it. Because I promise you, if you do that, that might even give you a deeper insight if this is even something that you want to invest in, or something that you want to pursue. But either way, when you do this, this will actually help you like it helped me. Number 6, the sixth thing that I stopped investing in is things that went against my purpose. So even like before, I mentioned like investing in things because it had this great promise and great delivery. Well, I started to realize that the most important investment that I can make is things that's in alignment with me, and things that's in alignment with my assignment, and things that are in alignment with my purpose. There was times, just being fully transparent, that I invested in things that I really did not agree in, and I really felt a sense of guilt because I felt like I was supporting something that went against me. And so that caused me to feel like an imposter. And I know so many people feel like imposters for all different kind of reasons, but I think one of the main reasons that people feel like an imposter is because they spend time and they invest in things that goes against their purpose, that goes against their values, that goes against things that in their mind they know is not right for them or other people for that matter. So when I stopped investing in things that went against my purpose, it didn't necessarily increase my income, but it made me feel better overall as a person, which caused me to see other opportunities. It just caused me to feel better overall, which you can't really put a price on that. And so I would encourage you that if there's anything that goes against your purpose or goes against your value or goes against your integrity, stay far away from that as possible, because no amount of money is worth you compromising any of those things. Now, I want to get to number 7, but before I get to number 7, I want to give you a bonus. And this is something that I stopped investing in that really helped me a lot, and it caused me to truly understand what was the most important thing. And what I stopped spending money on was things that might have been cheaper, but it took more time. Because there was times in my life where I might go to a cheaper gas station, even though that cheaper gas station might be like 7 more minutes away from this closer gas station. And even though it's like this cheaper gas station is going to save me money, it's going to cost me more time. And when I started to really understand that my time is more valuable than my money, I started to really realize that even though I'm thinking that I'm saving money, it's actually costing me more. Once I fully grasped that, I stopped spending money on things that were cheaper, even though it took more time, and I started spending more money on things that might cost a little bit more, but it actually saved me time. If there is a way where we can buy time to spend time with somebody that we love that's no longer here, what amount of money will we pay for that? Like there is no amount of money, I'm sure, that there's somebody that you love that you wouldn't pay to spend more time with them. So when we look at time from that perspective, it's like we might not get back time with those people, but at least we can get time to do something else. And it's like if we could spend a little bit more money to get time to spend with somebody else or ourselves doing something different, then it's worth whatever we might pay that's a little bit more that will get us a result quicker versus getting a discount on something that takes us more time. So for me, it's like when I turned that around, things just overall got better for me. Now, number 7, the last thing that I stopped buying is gifts out of habit. Like sometimes we just buy gifts for people out of habit because it's, you know, their birthday, because it's Christmas, because it's this special event. And sometimes we buy on autopilot. We don't really put our heart into it. We don't even really think about it. It's like, okay, it's this time on this calendar again, this time of year. And so I need to buy this person this gift. And sometimes we don't even, you know, buy them gifts. We just give them money because we feel like we need to give out of obligation instead of opportunity. And so it's like, for me, I stopped buying gifts out of habit because it really went against my integrity. Because it's like, if I'm just buying you something because I feel obligated to do it, I'm not coming from the right place. I'm not really buying you a gift to serve you at the highest level. I'm just buying you something so that we don't have a conflict, so that I don't feel uncomfortable because you're expecting something from me that maybe you don't even expecting, but I'm thinking you're expecting. But when I stopped buying gifts out of habit, number 1, it increased my income. It caused me to have a lot more money than I did, but it also caused me to strengthen my relationships with people, because sometimes people don't realize that people, they are the gift. It's a gift is not necessarily something that you buy. A gift is something that you are to other people that you love. And so sometimes just spending more time with people is a gift within itself. And when you think about like not buying gifts out of habit, you know, there is a level of resentment secretly that somebody else can have because they buy a gift for somebody else, and that gift might put them over the edge in terms of how much money that they have and put them in a financial bind. And now they secretly resent the person that they bought the gift for. Not that it's even their fault, but because they bought the gift for them, there could be a resentment that takes place. And so for me, it's like I never wanted that to be an experience that somebody had towards me, but I also did not want to ever experience that feeling towards somebody else. So I just cut out the gifts altogether when it came to habit. And it's like, now if I buy somebody a gift, maybe it's not for a certain period of time or a certain date on the calendar, but it's just because it's an appreciation gift, you know. And there's more love that comes with that gift than there's ever, you know, resentment that might follow it. So these 7 things, when I stopped buying these 7 things, my income increased and I started to make more money, and I started to just feel happy overall. Now, if you got any value from this video, the first thing that I want to do is ask you to comment below and let me know what's your biggest takeaway. And if you're new to the channel, I want to ask you to consider subscribing and share this video with at least 2 other people who you think can also get value from it. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video.